What's good, everybody? We are back. It is your boy Jarod and your girl Gabby, episode 108 of the Kicks and Shit Show.
Heard that one.
well, you know, you actually have headphones these days, so we're slowly getting a bit more professional here. It's happening over time. But Gabby, I already know where you are because of your background. How are you in these streets?
You know what, Jarod? I am great in these streets. I'm happy to be home. It's my birthday coming up. You know, this episode actually is like the best birthday present because it drops on my birthday. Also known as Kobe's birthday. Also known as
Here we go.
23. You know, I'm a cusper. I'm sure, as you know by now, like it's very exciting. I'm happy to be home. I wouldn't want to be anywhere else in the world.
What are you, a Leo what cusper?
A Leo and Virgo. Doesn't that make so much sense when you actually say it like that?
I mean, if I knew anything about signs, sure, but sure. I mean, here's what I'll say about that. I don't know anything about signs, but Leo I know is a lion, and a Virgo I feel like is some kind of like crazy thing. So
all right, let's relax with the C word, okay? I get very triggered when men talk about women and C words together. So I'm not talking about anything on Tuesday.
Lions are loud. And I'm like, oh, so you're a loud, crazy person. Okay, yeah.
No, I'm just a loud, particular person. I prefer the word particular instead because,
all right, it's fair.
You know, I live in a world of organized chaos, Jarod. I think that's pretty evident from the second you meet me. But I don't know. I like things a certain way. Like, you know, it's birthday season. It's U.S. Open season. So you know how to get tennis ball nails, things like that. Very strategic, very particular, very purposeful. And because I'm also a Leo, you're going to hear about it.
Will you be at the Arthur Ashe, the Billie Jean King Tennis Center
I will be
this year?
At least one time. You know, I'm very excited. I should have been rocking my Honey Deuce glass. Very excited to add to the collection of those as well.
As always, every year you gotta add one.
Or
will
like
you be
4.
working, or are you just going to be going there to attend and enjoy yourself?
I will be going to attend and enjoy myself.
Wow.
I know. It's kind of wild. I might show up in some new kicks that I'm not allowed to wear until after my birthday. I very much believe, Jarod, in we all work very hard. Treat yourself. If it's your birthday, get yourself a present. You deserve it. Whether your birthday, no matter what day it is, you deserve it. Jay, I know you got a fall birthday coming up. You deserve it as well. Start planning that birthday present for yourself.
The day ends in Y. Just treat yourself. I'm with you 100%. Yes, as you're showing off your new pair of Wave Runners.
So this is mine.
What did we say before the show started? What did you say?
If I was a shoe, this would be me. It is comfortable, a little bit different. Geometric, purposeful, even though it seems like it doesn't make any sense. Also my favorite color of Nick's blue. And you know I love me a Wave Runner, so I will be rocking these probably at the Open because...
Oh, they have a very nice tennis look to them.
Okay.
I think so.
We'll go with that. All right.
I think so. They do. They got like, you know, tennis, you know, lows. Even though you wore basketball sneakers when you played, most tennis players do tend to wear a low or some kind of mid shoe, right? The Agassiz back in the day were about mids, right? They kind of look like they were more mids. I know the Reebok pumps when the pumps came out with the tennis ball
legend
on the tongue, yeah, right. So those were mids. But yeah, high tops probably a little more challenging because you need a little. I think for tennis, you don't want that much weight on your feet when you're gonna do a lot of side to side and quick running and cutting, right? That's a little challenging.
So I agree with that, but I will say one thing that people don't know necessarily are the similarities between tennis and basketball from an athletic standpoint, right? They're both court sports if we think about it, right? And I know tennis you can play on grass, you can play on clay. The U.S. Open is on hard court, but what really matters, and the basketball sneakers that I used to rock were more of like that mid silhouette to give you the ankle flexibility as well. But it's the flat sole. It's that court style support that you're getting from the bottom. And the way that a basketball sneaker wears, because there's so much grit on a tennis court, it gets a little bit smoother so you can slide. So that was my kind of vibe back in the day. You know, I was always rocking Adidas on the tennis court, aside from my favorite pair that you guys all know about. So
sliding on a tennis court, always interesting. Of course, you know, the world's best clay court players, like that is a necessary skill for that court. What always, Gabby, got me crazy when I watch tennis is when people slide on hard court. I'm like, y'all are crazy. Like, you're literally going to tear your ACL.
Not crazy. Particular is better, you know?
You were going to tear your ACL, like, sliding on that hard court.
I survived. I don't know, you know, like, if it works, it works.
I see a player, like, either more on the female side, full split, or, like, I'm always like, like, it's just me. Like, it's just.
Your girl's not doing any splits. No.
It is a lot. It is rough out there. But yeah, shout outs to all the players that are going to be in New York City in the coming weeks for the final major of the year, the U.S. Open. You know, Gabby, you just mentioned support on the court, flat soles, and being able to slide. I was reading up about a shoe company that came out in 2021 in the throes of the pandemic, Bala Footwear. And their whole thing is about nurses and comfortability for nurses because their shoe is called the Bala 12, right? 12 being a nod to, if anybody knows any nurses or they are nurses, you know 12 is a very significant number to you. Why? Because that's the hour shift you work, 12. Now, sometimes you work more because you can't just leave. Sometimes, you know, patients do whatever, you can be there longer, but you are stated often for a 12-hour shift, 7 to 7, 8 to 8, whatever, however it works out. And for those nurses, and the two guys who started the companies were Nike execs, and they were in the Nike family for years working on shoes for basketball players, right, and athletes. And we always talk about functionality, right, and the importance of being able to do your job, right? Basketball, being able to jump, run, cut, all those different things and have support that you need. Well, it's no different for a nurse, right? Think about it. He or she is on their foot for 12 hours. 12, at least, at minimum 12, often longer.
Yep.
So I don't care what kind of shoes you have. Having anything on your feet and standing for that's pressure. That hurts. So you need tons of arch support. Now you're working in a hospital. You need shoes that are water resistant and liquid resistant, I should say, because, you know, forget about like just water spilling on you, other kinds of liquids and fluids and things. Right. It's just you need to be mindful of that. And the material that it's on needs to be able to be cleaned relatively easily and quickly. Right. So I just thought that what Bala Footwear is doing is pretty awesome. The valuation of the companies, I want to say up to $3 billion now. They are trending in such a positive direction. And I like it because the thought process was, how do we help out these people, these heroes, right, who we all cheer and laud for their wonderful work they do? Can we give them some comfortable shoes? And not only are the shoes comfortable, they actually look pretty good too. So
that's
shout out to
sometimes.
Well, you know, that's always tough. And a lot of the nurses out there are talking about how wonderful it is. They retail at about $150. Nocturnal black, shade gray, daybreak blue. You know, those are all and of course, you know, the names of those are like interesting, right? Nocturnal, like, so if you work the overnight shift, right? Daybreak, like, thank God we're going to go home soon. Like all the different things that nurses, people in that industry know about. I just thought they were interesting shoes, and shout out to the people at Bala doing good stuff.
I love that. And I think, you know, last week's episode was a really interesting one. We had a little bit of a different take on sneakers, talking about kind of the roots of what we started this show on, right? Is like fashion versus function, kind of the non-traditional sneaker path, as you will, right? So I think, you know, that's one thing that I really love about even tennis these days is looking at what's on people's feet. So I bring that in to say, you know, Jay, I know you're going to be there. You're going to be spending a lot of time out in Queens in the next couple weeks. What are you looking forward to see? And do you think that Nick Kyrgios is going to be rocking Jays?
Nick Kyrgios will definitely be rocking Jays. You know, I'll be curious to see. A lot of athletes have their own sort of sneaker partnerships, like, you know, so I'll be curious to see if Rafa's playing, what he's wearing. Of course, this being the GOAT, Serena Williams' last U.S. Open, I'll be very curious to see what Nike whips up, anything special for it. Do they, you know, I'm sure they're working on something, working round the clock. I mean, sneakers, they don't, you know, luckily for her, it's a one of one, but she's going to need multiple pairs. So, you know, I'd be curious to see what they're working on for her. You know, Coco Gauff, a bunch of the players, that are marketable. What, if anything, they have from a sneaker perspective. I myself will be in a lot of the low tops. I'm thinking Stan Smiths. You know, that kind of fits the whole tennis vibe. My Puma suede's always a good job, a good shoe to rock. And I might even throw in some flips in my backpack just in case.
Wild. Slides, not flips though, right? You're gonna go slides?
I'm gonna go slides. Yeah, probably not flips. Slides.
Okay. I mean, I agree with you. I think Nike is, there's probably a lot going on behind the scenes. Actually, I'm sure of it, right? With the announcement of Serena retiring, one of the greatest athletes of all time, not just tennis players, not just female athletes, but athletes of all time. So I don't know, maybe we're going to manifest here a little bit, but your girl is hoping that Nike decides to drop a Serena signature tennis shoe. How fire. That would be the biggest mic drop.
Yeah. And it's about time.
Just saying. I mean, long overdue.
It's about time. And it would do well just given who she is and
her style, the integration. Right. Yeah.
She's been in our consciousness for decades and the most recognizable female athlete in the world, one of the most recognizable athletes in the world, man or woman, period. Like, so, it'd be curious. So Nike, if you're listening, I'm sure you're already working on it. You know where to find us, Kicks and Shit Show, size 11 for me, size 7 for Gabby. Thank you very much.
To quote the great poet Lizzo, it's about damn time.
The great poet Lizzo. All right, folks, stay tuned because coming up next, we have a special guest from within the Count the Dings family. That's right, a little crossover time. Trying to get this guy on. He's a funny dude. He's going to have some takes. So everybody stay tuned. Peace. What's good? We are back. And Gabby, we're not alone. We are joined by Count the Dings BOMM Network producer, formerly of ESPN. Like, this is a dude who I've been listening to on podcasts for years. I'm glad that, like, we're on the same network. So, like, now we get to be boys and talk about stuff. This dude's got wild takes, so I'm ready for all his hot takes and bad opinions coming up. John Jervay, a.k.a. Jerv. What's up, man?
Not a thing, man. Thank you for having me.
Of course, of course. So, look, man, let's just start here because you already talked about it in the pre-show. So, let's all right, what is this nonsense you think is going to happen where your whack 76ers are going to get Kevin Durant? Because that is not happening. But tell me why you think it's happening.
So let me be 100% clear. I'm from Philadelphia. It's not going to happen, right? But my whole thing is, if it does, I am going to literally break the internet. I'm going to be the most annoying person in group chats. You know what I mean? Because I feel like I've earned that right? Like you know me. You've heard plenty of conversations way back in the day with the mean where I would beg him to talk Sixers during the process, and he'd just be like, "Yo, no one's talking about this irrelevant team, right?" And then Joel Embiid decides to play basketball. That other guy, decides to play basketball for a little bit, and then we're all of a sudden we're this attractive team. So I feel like I was the laughing stock for years, and it's my time now. Like I don't understand why anyone has an issue with me, like talking my talk. Like I earned it.
I respect this, and I agree so much because as a Knicks fan, when it is my time, exactly. Everyone has their opinions, but when it is my time. Jerv, I feel you. Everyone will know about it. I promise you. Right, Jay?
Well, see, here's the thing about both of y'all and y'all's tortured star fan bases. Okay? It ain't never going to be y'all time because y'all franchises are whack. I will say this. Jerv, at least the Sixers, at least they drafted all NBA dudes and you got a chance. And if this Durant thing happens, all right. I mean, at least the Sixers have been playoff competent. They were a 1 seed last year. Them Knicks, nah, that ain't happening no time soon. You're not getting Donovan Mitchell. And even if you do get Donovan Mitchell, what you going to be? Yeah, what you going to be? Like, what are you really going to be?
Donovan Mitchell. This is not meant to be a roast about the Knicks. I'm just saying, I feel you. When it is our time, you celebrate. Don't let your eyes take you off that soapbox.
No. Listen.
That's okay.
Nobody can take me off the soapbox. Please believe that.
Good. I love that.
And so, I would always feel bad for Jerv because, everybody would get on him. And, listen, I'm a New York guy, so, of course, I'm siding with my New York boys. But I always be like, damn, they're going to kill Jerv and get on this, right? And so, Jerv would always have to, just keep taking this. So, for your sake, Jerv, I hope good things happen that you get the brag. Also, Gabby, notice how hot he came in. And
I know, I'm here for that energy. You referred
to that former player as that guy. He ain't say his name.
We don't say his name. In fact, I no longer use that emoji anymore that he used to always tweet out before games. It's funny. I had a buddy, we were talking fantasy football or something, right? And he responded with that emoji, and I was just like, nah, bruh. Nah, like not in my text message chain. Like that's not about to be what I'm talking about. Like I'm so cool. Like, yo, you have no idea how much I want to be in the building whenever I actually think he'll never play in Philadelphia. I think it's going to be one of those wild things where 5 years from now, you will be like, dag, like the last time this, minus the playoffs, right? Like, right. I mean, well, last year was kind of wild too. Maybe the playoffs would be it too. But like, I can't ever see dude like ever giving us the satisfaction and being able to like express our, frustration towards him, because everything he said, it's like straight baloney, right? Like we're low key. We get a bad rep as a city.
You threw batteries at Santa Claus, Jerv. You threw batteries at Santa Claus.
Well, let's be real, right? Like this Santa Claus thing, right? Like I love it's like when you're arguing with your significant other and you've made all these a million points, right, about it, but then you slip up on one thing, and now all they do is harp on that one thing to the point where everything else that happened before that
don't matter.
It doesn't even matter. Right? It's the Jets' butt fumble. That will always be in a top 10 somewhere forever. Sorry, Mark Sanchez.
Oh, it's also, not only did they throw batteries at Santa Claus, they cheered when Michael Irvin got knocked out and ended his career. Like, they were standing and applauding.
I mean, oh well. Look, when I used to work at ESPN, and I used to tell people all the time while Mike was there, but I never saw him. I used to always be like, yo, if I ever see a dude and like I got to work with him, like I'll work with him because it's my job. But I'm not about to be all chummy and talk, like, because a lot of those dudes are cool, right? Like they want you to treat them like they're, with the exception of a few, like some you have to just they want you to just like acknowledge their greatness and everything, right? But a lot of them, for the most part, would rather you not sweat them and really just treat them like another ESPN employee and so forth. I was like, yo, I'm not like, you know what I mean? Like, and dude would just have to, I wouldn't be like ignorant towards him, because at the end of the day, he's a man, I'm a man, and there's only so much you got to do. But the fandom, he would 100% know I was an Eagles fan, and I wasn't feeling that. Bro, you know how many times we had to see, like, after every first down, and you trying to tell us like we can't get a mulligan for cheering when we obviously no one knew it was a career-ending injury, right? No one even knew it was that serious. We just knew he was down.
I love it. Right? I love it. This is why I wanted to have Jerv on, because I knew like we're just gonna talk about Philly sports and why they so mad and angry about everything. I mean, to be fair, right? If you're an NFC East fan back in the 90s, the Cowboys killed you, right? Michael Irvin, Evans Ventura, them dudes rolled through your town and busted your team's ass, told you about it. And there's only so much you could do. You had to just take it. You'd be like, all right, like, y'all nice.
Bro, half my friends wouldn't let me get into the football conversation. I'll be like, oh no, this is for teams that have won Super Bowls. Like, right? So then everyone wants to know why I'm so ignorant when I win a Super Bowl. It's like, yo, I got what they gonna say now? I'm certified, right? Like, there's nothing you can say to me anymore.
Yeah, but I would prefer that though over like the 90s Cowboys fans now that are from specifically from Jersey. Clearly I'm triggered by this conversation, but like the specific Jersey Cowboys fan who was like, the logo was really cool. We were kids. We're amazing. And I'm like, you're not from Texas. You've never been to Texas.
They've never been to Texas. They don't have a plan to go to a game, right? And then they all hit me with this, right? Every Cowboys fan I've ever met from Philadelphia, oh, my dad was a Tony Dorsett fan.
Oh, okay.
So therefore I'm a Cowboys fan. What?
I mean,
my dad was a North Carolina Tar Heel fan. You know who my favorite team is?
Not Carolina.
Nope.
Duke.
Look at that, Duke.
It's a straight spite pick. Straight spite.
You got Tom Petty on repeat, huh?
100%. I'm a spiteful individual.
I like it.
As you can see, the energy going from
I was going to say,
right
I'm right there with you. So
this
month's for you.
Your dad was a Cowboys. Your dad was a Tony Dorsett fan. Then why you should be die hard about Pennsylvania? What's up with Pitt? Tony Dorsett is a Pitt guy. What's up with that? Anyway,
well, I don't fool with Pitt or Penn State, but whatever.
You out on Pitt and Penn State. You don't mess with those spots.
They're not, Penn State's like a fake Philly school that everyone from Philadelphia tends to go to Penn State. So like we like to act like Penn State is like a Philadelphia school, but it's like 5 hours or 4 hours from us.
Yeah, it's and Pittsburgh's like 8 hours away. It's like
Pittsburgh's in Ohio, basically.
Basically.
So Jerv, does all of this spite come from this feeling of, we're going to talk about them, not like, New York guys, in particular, me and Voss, people like that, who hype up New York. And in full disclosure, as you know, I'm a New York City guy as well, sitting in New York City right now, born and raised. Do you feel like New York dudes just walk around with a sort of attitude and it gets to you and you're like, nah, I'm not really down to mess with y'all, man?
It's not just dudes. Let's get the record straight.
It's not just dudes. It's New York people.
It's just your people. It's your people.
Like,
it's true.
Like, let's be clear, right? I 100%, I love New York, right? Like, I enjoy going to New York, right? Like, I think there's a lot of popping things about New York. Like, I generally enjoy New York, right? But this entitlement thing of like that New Yorkers have is like the wildest thing to me, right? Like, outside of the Yankees, on some real stuff, outside of the Yankees, there's not really a sports franchise that is like everyone's had a run, but they never have dominated the sport, right? And like so like sports is that, and then it's like hip hop is like the wildest thing to me, right?
That's Jerv's one, hip hop.
Hip hop burns me up, right? Because there's not nan artists that came up in that 90s, early 2000s run that will not tell you that Philly is by far one of their most favorite places to go and perform. Philly, we respect hustle. We respect your energy. You can be bad in Philadelphia, but we have to see the effort, right? Like if you're not giving us an effort, right? If you're performing and you're clearly just mailing it home, bruh, you might as well get off the stage because we're not having that, right? Like, we're not having, this is why like a guy like Aaron Rowan, right, that used to play for the Phillies, mediocre at best, right? Like made an all-star game or two, but like not a Hall of Famer, but like won't ever be in the finalists for a Hall of Fame, right? We love him. Why? Because he ran through a wall to catch a fly ball and we respected it, right? We didn't like Jimmy Rollins at first. Well, I mean, we liked Jimmy Rollins until Jimmy Rollins said something about us, right? He called us fair weather fans. And listen, we're not fair weather, right? We're any fan base.
Right. When you suck, we'll let you know.
Yo, I'm not going to the game if you suck. Like, why? I've got other things I'm going to do. It doesn't mean I'm not watching at home. Right? Like, like on a back-to-back game with the Sixers, right? If I got season tickets to a Sixers game and it's a 2 games and 3 games and 4 nights rare thing, right? If I'm gonna look at that 4-game stretch and I'm going to pick the game that I know, they're not playing tonight. I'm not going. I'm still gonna watch at home. But I'm not gonna put in the money for parking. I'm not gonna take the time to sit through traffic. I'm not gonna pay for my 5 or 6 beers or whatever the hell I'm gonna have, right? Like I have all that at home and it's much cheaper. But like New Yorkers are like, wow, like they act like Philadelphia isn't one of the greatest cities for like music, just in general, right? Like there's neo soul and like all that. That's us, right? Hip hop, arguably the greatest run by any group could be like Rockefeller, right? Like Rockefeller could be up there in that 4 or 5, top 5 or 4-ish hip hop runs.
For sure.
The run didn't happen until he teamed up with the Squad.
And who are you referring to in particular, Jerv?
I mean, the Broad Street Bully, you know what I'm saying? Philadelphia Freeway, the Young Guns, Chris, you know what I mean? Like Oskino and Sparks, a.k.a. State Property. He links up with State Property, and all of a sudden, it's this crazy movement. Hove was always going to be Hove. You know what I'm saying? Like Pusha T comes to Philadelphia. He will tell you, the reason I felt confident is because 2 places backed me outside of home, DC and Philadelphia. Easy, right? Like Push loves it here. And that's him suffering tragedy in Philadelphia. And he still loves us. we're a great town, but we definitely have a little brother syndrome with New York. Like it's 100%.
I'm just going to go there. It is clear just from the passion in your voice, and I've heard you say a variation of this thing a million times. You feel it. You sound like a little brother talking about, yo, why can't Big Brother let me shine a little bit? Like, I'm not saying you're not great. I'm just saying I'm also great too.
But they don't let anyone shine. It's just not us.
I'm a middle child being in Jersey, so I hear you. Like, they don't accept me in the same way.
You're from Jersey?
I can look at New York outside of my apartment, and I'm like, they're like, this bridge and tunnel, bitch. Okay, you're not a New Yorker. Anywhere else in the world, they're like, what is this New Jersey? I'm like, New York. They're like, oh, we got you. But here, nah. I have West New York is in the town that I live in, but it's because it's New Jersey.
That makes it worse. That actually makes it worse.
Nah, and I appreciate the support you gave me earlier, but like I just got to keep it real. Like Jersey,
you're like a cousin. You're not even middle child. That's
Jersey's
Philly.
Like, so like here's my thing with Jersey, right? Like Jersey, and I mean this with all due respect, I'm not being disrespectful, right?
Respectfully.
Jersey is the state with literally no identity.
It's true.
I don't think that's true.
But look, here, peep game. Okay. If you're from South Jersey, ideally you tend to trend.
You identify with Philly.
Identify with Philadelphia things. Mm-hmm. If you're from North Jersey, you definitely identify and you pick up that New York demeanor. Yeah. The only part is really Central Jersey, and nobody even like ever mentions Central Jersey unless they live in Central Jersey.
Half the people don't even say that Central Jersey exists. It's North, South, and the shore. So I hear you, but I also like when I say Jersey does have an identity, I don't count South Jersey. That's Philly. Like I never say. But
when I think of Jersey, I think of South Jersey. I don't even think of North Jersey because I'm like, that's New York.
But see, that's where it is. Like, I'm closer to New York, so I'm like, South Jersey, that's Philly. That's okay.
Jersey,
Philly, you're like, North Jersey, that's New York.
Jersey's identity is the shore.
That's what we are in reality TV. That's what we are in reality TV.
Corn. They got good corn. Tomatoes.
Yeah, definitely. Jersey corn is really good.
Tomatoes.
Oh yeah, Jersey tomatoes. Yeah, there you go.
Cannolis. I don't know.
We just solved it right here.
That's our identity.
Corns and tomatoes. It's fine.
That's what Jersey does. Crab cakes and football,
Wow. No, this is great. I definitely had to let Jerv get that stuff off because I know, listen, I'm an equal opportunity kind of guy. Like it's fine. Like I don't think about Philly in that negative light. It's like, Philly's Philly. But there is the city in which sports teams are, right? The fans want the players to take on the identity that they have. And the challenge with that is it's tough, right? Because let's just be real about sports in general. Major League Sports, or big time sports, these dudes making a lot of money. It's real hard when you're making $20 million to feel like a grinder, right? You know what I mean? Like anybody grinding when they make $20 million. That's just not the vibe they're going to come to you with, right? Now, you have guys who make 20, 30 million who bust their ass and work hard, right? Yeah. But it may not be, but that's why the fans in those areas, Chicago, Boston, Philly, whatever, even in New York, they love what they call, quote unquote, lunch pail guys, right? Because it's like, look, I know what my Joel Embiid, my Kevin Durant, right? These are all NBA dudes. All right, I know what I'm getting from you, but who is that other dude? Is it Furtman Korkmaz? Is it, Tyrese Maxey? Is it, right? Who is that dude that, you Philly, man. Like, you the one.
Maxey's Philly, bro. Maxey's Philly. Maxey's Philly. Yo, that youngin' didn't even take a vacation this year. I mean, I'm sure he did, but like all you saw all summer, just playing basketball. And I'm just like, yes. I mean, my bad, bro. You got to go if KD really wants to come here. But like, if he doesn't, like,
sorry, bro, you got to.
Yeah, but I mean, like, he's got to understand that though, right? Like, it's Kevin Durant, like, kind of got to go, right? Like,
that's what I love that real. See, that's the thing about, right? So within one sentence, Jerv told you about Maxey and how he's so Philly because, right, that's who they identify with, the guy who just busts his ass and work. But in the same sentence, he's a realist. Oh, but if Kevin Durant's coming, I don't care how real you are. You got to go because this is Kevin Durant. Like, so there's also a realness to it, right? In reality, I'm like, look, I could love you as much as whatever, but if I got a chance to get an all-time great, like, sorry, man, we gonna go ahead and work with that.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's plain and simple.
I don't know.
I don't understand why people are confused by it.
I love it.
But that if this same conversation happened about the Knicks, everyone's like, wait, you think you're going to win now that you got Kevin Durant in the Knicks? Like, literally.
But we have a better team than you all right now, though. You know what I mean?
I disagree with that.
They just paid, and I love Brunson from the city. You know what I'm saying? Like Philly roots, totally.
All that.
But that's a lot of money. That's a lot of chicken. Shout out to him for getting that money, though.
That's the one thing. We don't listen. Get paid. If they want to pay you that, take it. But look, I think the Knicks, hopefully they'll be fine. Gabby, I talked about they had a right direction going with Wes and with Leon, and I think Tibbs is a problem. We've discussed this, but that's a conversation for a different day. Jerv, I wanted to talk about some of your other interesting takes you've had over time. I know this season you did not like Atlanta, the FX show Atlanta at all. It just it didn't speak to you. And I know you pretty much got support on that on the BOMM show. I think all the guys were like, yeah, we didn't like it either. But let's kind of unpack it a little bit more. Are you like Amin in that you got Donald Glover hate, or is it just like, nah, this isn't the show that they built to me?
Nah, like first of all, Amin's level of Donald Glover hate is like top. You know what I'm saying? Even if I did have hate for Donald Glover, like there's no way I could even be on his level of hate for Donald Glover. My issue more so with the show was, so I thought those one-off shows were solid, right? Like I thought it was well done, well written.
Teddy Perkins, all those things.
Yeah, like I understood, but my whole thing was that wasn't Atlanta, right? Like as ignorant as this is about to see, I signed up to see these three dudes from the hood make it as rappers and do ignorant stuff as rappers, right? Like that's what I signed up for. It's like P Valley, right? Like I signed up with the intentions of what I was going to watch, and then it turned into like this whole other thing that wasn't what I was watching. It's like that's cool if that's the lane that y'all started out in, but like y'all sucked me in with this show as Atlanta. You sucked me in with this show that was about this dude that was rapping, and like it was all about like seeing like, some of the things would just be about going about their day. So you have a classic episode like the barbershop one, right? Classic. And everyone's laughing because it's like, holy shit, like I haven't been in that situation, but I've been in a situation or I know someone, right? So then like you just kind of hit us with this, oh, hey, I'm so creative. Let me just show you what I can do real quick. And it's like, yo, that's dope and all, but why don't you've basically probably got a green light from FX. Right. Go get another check, bro. Go get another check. Leave Atlanta alone. You see the next season, they're coming right back to everything. It was literally like he put out testers and he wanted to see how people reacted to these episodes. And he was I hate using the word afraid, but for some reason, he didn't want to do that as a standalone. He snuck it in, you know what I mean? With he snuck in these ads real quick to see how people responded. And like people generally all responded with liking of the types of episodes. It was just the difference came in people wanting it to be either they were cool with it being a part of Atlanta or cool with it being separate, right? Like that's where I didn't really see too many people say, oh, this was a terrible episode. You know what I mean? So like, I wouldn't be shocked if he put out his version of American Horror Story, but like in the world of, what he does, you know what I'm saying? Like it would make sense, but I really feel like he put out testers for us. And it was like, bro, like, that's not really what you only gave me like 6 episodes or 7 episodes. So like only like 3 or 4 were about Paperboy. Like out of nowhere, Paperboy is just on tour. And I'm like, I've never even heard a song other than Paperboy, whatever it was. Like how much of a deal did he did? Did he buy his mama a house? Did he buy a crazy car? How much jewelry did he buy? Because clearly this is the type of person he is. Yeah. And I want to see that. Like I didn't sign up for these deep thinking episodes. Like when it comes, my takes on shows pretty cut and dry, right? It's either good or my phrase is ass, right? Like, you know what I mean? It's one or the other, right? Like I will trash a show to the fullest if I think it's terrible, but I also, if I like it, like, you know what I mean? Like I'm in. And, I don't understand why you couldn't just give me what I wanted, right? Like, give me what I wanted. Give me what I signed up for. Yeah.
Give the people what they want. So here's what I'll say about the season of Atlanta. I quite enjoyed it because I understood what it was, right? I just saw it as a natural evolution of the art form he's created, right? So for me, anytime I watch TV now, particularly any sort of prestige TV, and Atlanta is prestige TV. Anybody making TV now, it is some version of art, okay? And Glover already is giving you a different Black experience, right? All right, I can give you some hood stuff, but that really isn't how I grew up, right? I grew up a little bit different than that, right? So, yeah, but I may have been hood adjacent, to steal a name from another show, right? So, okay, we can do that. But I've seen enough shows like that. I want to try to stretch your bounds of creativity and how you watch a show. And what do you think about this? And I know I got a lot of pushback because people were like, well, this season seemed to be all about the white gaze and et cetera and this and that. And, you know, my thing was like, I don't know that I saw it that way. I just saw it as him being like, look, I literally saw it as the white ally ain't really your ally, right? Like that's kind of the message I saw him giving you. Don't believe this shit. This is a bunch of bullshit, right? And then he gave it to you in that souped up Teddy Perkins kind of way, right? Borrowing from other genres, which to me, that's where TV's going now, right? We've moved so far away from the formulaic sitcom and even the formulaic drama, right? We're well past that now. And the shows are now forcing us to examine and look at things differently. But I hear what you're saying. And I think you, obviously, season 4, which is the final season, or 5, whatever the last season is, he's going to come back and wrap the show up, right? So they're back in Atlanta. And it's been, even this season, Jerv, this is years ahead, right? It wasn't like a pickup from the end. I think it was like, you know, all right, like this might have been Paperboy's, second or third European tour for all we know. It seemed like it was a little push forward. And I feel like that's probably what we're going to get as we wrap the storylines for all those guys next season.
I don't know, though. I like that you talk about American Horror Story, right? Like if they're going to shift it that way, because I think something that they do so well is they have American Horror Stories. Let's try these little vignettes. Let's try these new stories. We're calling it a test and learn. I think to your point, like, you know what you're getting when you go into it, so you're prepared to have a different lens. I don't know. Maybe that's what's next.
Could be, but but you know, I think that's the thing that got Jerv, like, is that he kind of ran that 180 on him, right? It's like, if that was what the show was from season 1, I'm like, all right, I know this is from season 1, but you really pulled the whole okie doke, like, wait, what? Like, we had a whole season of Teddy Perkins, basically, which, by the way, that wouldn't be a bad idea. I might watch that.
A mini spinoff, I'm telling you. Atlanta book 2, 3, and 4. Pull the Power series. There you go.
Please, Power, listen. The original Power, season 1, I think seasons 1 through 3 were really good. It started really getting off the rails in season 4. And I was like, all right, once we started introducing the freaking Eastern European dude, what are we doing here? Like, it got nuts.
It's definitely a guilty pleasure show. You know, we talk all our trash about it on the OG show. Yeah. And, you know, but I would probably still watch it I'm not even gonna be home. I would watch it regardless, because it's to the point now where it's just like, I just want to see how ridiculous can we get.
Absolutely.
Like, oh, you're gonna tie 50 up and burn the entire place down, but
he broke out.
The streets need a body, so we didn't see a body.
Were you when the way that that the original book ended, right? Ghost Story. Were you cool with Tariq killing his dad and being like, I was like,
spoiler alert if you haven't watched it.
Listen, all right, if you're listening to this any show on this network and you don't know that's on you. To me, I felt like his development as a character, I was like, he was not believable, right? I was like,
he's also not likable. He's like a little shit.
I was like, I don't believe you at all. I do not believe you at all.
So, what if I told you that I'm now under the belief of the people that believe the ghost isn't dead, right? Like,
yes, let's talk about it.
So, like, I got a homie that listens to, the pods, right? So, like, every time, he would literally listen for like the power talk. So he saw where we were going with it. And he said, what if I told you Ghost isn't dead? And I was like, yo, get the hell out of here, dude. Like, yo, he's dead, right? And he was like, you see a body? Right? Oh, and I'm like, well, no. So then he starts to send me all these conspiracy YouTube videos on how Ghost is alive. Jesus. Right? And I'm just like, huh. And then I started listening to interviews that he had. Right?
Down the rabbit hole. There we go.
And I'm down the rabbit hole, right? I'm listening to interviews he's had, And he never tells you that Ghost is dead. He always leaves it like, well, in power, anything's possible. Right?
I mean, that's true.
And you know, I feel like he thought that his career was going to go in a certain trajectory with Netflix and so forth. It didn't.
It did not.
You know, you still got to eat. So why not go back to where your bread is buttered?
I mean, I agree. Power Book 37, Kanan and Ghost are both still alive. There you go. Call it out.
I wouldn't be shocked if he showed up. Here's the thing. In all seriousness, if he is alive, I would not be shocked if he showed up in the next upcoming season whenever they do the Tariq.
Like Tariq or Tommy. I was gonna say Tariq or Tommy. First
of all, I don't think I've read that Tommy got picked up, and I would not be shocked if Tommy didn't get Tommy was trash. Like that's a trash. Like all power is bad right now. Like Raising Kane, but that was real. Tommy was really bad. Like Tommy was
I can fuck with a little bit, but
no, that's straight. Like that's actually kind of well done. Yeah. But then I realized, like all 50 is doing, which is why he's like the greatest troll of all time. All he's really doing is trolling the Supreme team and all of them because he's literally telling their stories, which is why like last episode he slipped in Supreme Mathematics and then everyone knows, you know, New Jack City was built off them. So they took over the Carter and everything. I'm like, wow, this dude's really like a jerk. Troll. Like he's a really asshole.
Professional troll.
Yeah, and I respect it.
I do too. I mean, I'm here for it. You know what you're getting when you get 50. So
wait,
100%.
Power Book 37. So what? Ghost and Kanan are 1,000 years old in the geriatric nursing home, like running games.
Yep.
I mean, if we going down that role,
maybe Vanessa's still alive. Who knows?
If we going down that role, is Angela coming back? Although we did see a body, we saw her body.
Oh no, Angela's dead.
Angela's dead.
We saw
Angela's dead.
There's a lot of people though, that I think have to make a cameo. You know, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
Were you, since we're on this power topic,
maybe, you know, I don't know. They have a baby.
2-bit. First of all,
no, 2-bit took one to the dome. 2-bit's got to be gone, right? Like that was close range to the dome, and that was Tommy.
Spanky and 2-bit, them two.
No, I'm sorry, I was thinking about Spanky, not 2-bit.
These two.
Spanky was the one with the glasses, right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm thinking about Spanky that got shot in the head by Tommy.
Yep.
Right to the dome. I was like, oh, that's rough.
2-bit.
Jerv, were you, during the original Power, were you an Angela hater?
Was I an Angela hater? I would probably say yes. More so because she was just fucking annoying to me. And I mean this as respectfully as possible. Like seriously. I didn't think Angela was worth
blowing up your family.
Everything that everyone was like this dude was giving up his family. Like his real family. And the person that like kept you out of jail.
Yeah.
But you think Ghost was good enough for her? Let's flip that on its head.
Well, here's the thing. No clue, right? Like I have no clue. If you tell me he is, I'll believe you. If you tell me he's not, I'll believe you, right? Like I just know like Twitter would go crazy like when he would take his shirt off. So like I guess he is. You know what I mean? I guess, right? But like if we're just doing like on some real world type shit, right. Yeah, he would be, right? Because like he's the most powerful drug dealer
in New York,
in the entire New York City. Right. Like he is New York City, so he's unlimited amount of cash. He's dude's about to be a senator, right? Like if it wasn't for you know. Him being a drug dealer coming in. Yeah. So like, I guess he would be, but like, she just wasn't. Even like her as her character, like it just wasn't dope. Like she's
you're dancing around. What you want to say is Tasha was bad and Angela was not. That's what you want to say.
I mean, Tasha was bad, man.
That's what you want to say.
But see, I think Tasha, yes, but also I think Tasha. For the lifestyle he lived,
right.
Tasha was better for that lifestyle.
Agreed.
Because she was down. Like I mean, Angela was a
legit prostitute,
right? Yeah. So I mean, her whole ethos is about what.
Like she called him Jamie. Like that's a pet peeve. I hate when people refuse to like. Oh, that's your nickname. Oh no. I don't do that nickname. I'm just going to call you your government name because that's just what I do.
So for me, where
that.
I was like, when people would kill all, you know, especially Black Twitter would kill Angela on the regular, what I would always be like and have sympathy for, I was like, look, because I always saw it as she and Ghost, once they saw each other that time in the club, they immediately went back to being 15-year-old high school kids. And so when they're with each other, that's who they are. They are who, despite the fact that, oh, you a cop now, oh, you're a fucking, it don't matter. When we're together, and this
Nothing
is like, this was the love of each other's lives, right? Like that's who they were. And she just left and disappeared. And he was like, what the fuck? I thought we were in this to. So I think so that's why I always have more sympathy for that relationship than most people did. People were like, nah, fuck that. I'm like, no, I get it. Like he was looking for some kind of closure on this. This girl he loved literally just up and disappeared and left and never spoke to him again. Like now she's back.
Crazy.
He's like, fuck. I mean, think about your life now, right? Imagine if anybody you were into that you had not seen I'm not saying you blow up your family, but if they came back and you saw them, it might rock you a bit, right? You'd be like, oh shit.
I agree with that.
Especially if they come back looking how you expect them to look. Yeah, right? Like damn. You know what I mean? If I haven't seen you in 15 years and you, damn, okay, yeah. You know what I'm saying? But like she had my man ready to give up the family, get out the drug game. You know what I mean? Which, you know, I mean, he was probably going to try and get out the drug game anyway. But like, my G, like you can't become the greatest, like you can't become the biggest drug dealer in all of New York and then go legal. Like that's impossible. You're supposed to go to Miami or something and move and just, get chubby and move to Miami. That's what he's supposed to do.
That's the conceit of all. That's the conceit of all shows with drug dealers, right? Because they all eventually have an epiphany where they want to get out, and it's like, but that's the whole thing. You know, you can never. Right? There's too many connections, and your way out is you're going to die. Like that is your way out.
Or you cross the border. You got to cross the border. Go to Europe. Disconnect the cell phone. There you go.
Oh my God! You see, we can talk to Jerv about this forever, but stay tuned, folks, because coming up next, America's favorite segment, Shoe and Tell, presented by Another Lane, the premier digital marketplace for dope kicks. There we'll get into Jerv's love of sneakers. I know he plays golf, so he probably rocks Nike golf shoes. We'll get into all that stuff in our next segment. Stay tuned. What's good, everybody? We are back, and you know what time it is. America's favorite segment, Shoe and Tell, presented by Another Lane. Look, I tell y'all about Adina and Chad all the time. Just go to anotherlane.com, check it out, support the homies. They do awesome work. Listen, you want to get an education on sneakers? Chad's a PhD. He's like a doctor, man. He'll really give you the lowdown on everything. All right, Jerv. And Jerv, of course, knows Adina and Chad. All right, Jerv, since we talked about power and Philly and all that, get all that out your system. Let's start at the beginning. When did you fall in love with sneakers?
So for me, my mom used to always take me to like this street in Philadelphia called 69th Street. Mm-hmm. And, I could go in and, like I didn't grow up like poor or anything of that nature. I grew up in a very middle class type of family, like in the 80s and the 90s. Right. So whatever you imagine a middle class Black family being, I went to private school my whole entire life or whatever the case may be. But the neighborhood I lived in was very much not like, I didn't really have many people come to my house kind of sort of thing. Like it just was what it was. But my mom would take me to this block called 69th Street, and it would just be a ton of like Ave type shops over there. And there was actually a Payless, right? And my mom would just go in there and she would just, let me go ham on like fucking Payless fucking sneakers, right? Like, so, but again, I'm a kid. I don't know what I'm doing, right? And like, I'm not at the age yet where people are about to be like, you know what I mean? See, for us, it wasn't word of those. It was like Bobos. Yeah, they make your feet feel, you know what I mean? Bobos, they cost $1.99. Bobos. You get your Bobo. You know what I mean? Like that was our what are those back in the day, right? So, but it was whatever. Like I got all types of pictures as a kid, like with my parents, and I just got like some random like sneaks on. But like they're, but I could tell like at the age where probably around like 6-ish is kind of like where it was, I started getting, Alesis, Nikes, you know what I mean? Reebok was cool back in the day, right? Like, all, whatever. But then it was Christmas. I don't remember the exact year, but it's whatever year that the Fives had hit the scene. And my grandparents bought me the OG fives, whatever the very first, whatever I think they're called, like I don't know any of these new names, right? Like I reference them how I called them, so I think they might be like the Chicago Fives or something, whatever they're called now. Yeah. But I remember getting those, and I lost my mind, right? Like lost it. It was the greatest thing I had ever seen in my life, and it was like one of those love at first sight things, and I was just on it then. And sneakers were a lot more affordable back in the day. Mm-hmm. So it really, again, being from a middle-class family, it really wasn't much for me to say, hey, can I go get, or to earn like a pair of sneakers, right? And at this time, like, you know, Foot Lockers and all those things, like no one went to those stores when they were around. You know what I mean? Like, to me, it's super duper weird going to Foot Locker, and this is no shot at Foot Locker. I'm not trying to trash it, but like it's super weird going to like a name brand store and like going to get some heat. Right. You know what I mean? Like the corny kids went to those stores. If you were cool, if you were dope, if you were into this thing, you know what I'm saying, you would go to the Abs, right? Like that's why, like, I think Jordan just did the ones that's paying homage to the to like the mom and pop, like that. To me, you know, I'm cool. I'm out of that. Like I'm right. Y'all can have that. Like I'm cool. Right. But like, that's dope that they're paying homage to that, because to me, that's where, like, I remember, you know, like, but like, I remember having to go to different places, going there often, getting to know somebody. Right. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, there wasn't any, you know, lines outside. Like you just went in. Yeah. And it's like, hey, do you got a size? And I've been a 13 since probably like, I've been wearing a 13 on some real shit since probably like 5th grade. So like, but like it was wild back then because I used to get shit from eBay. Right. Like I used to kill eBay, dude. Kill it. Them Jones would come out, dog. Them fucking, and I know you know how I go off on a rant, but like them fucking Grant Hill the OG Grant Hills, dog. Them Jones hit, dude. Need them, right? You know what I'm saying? Fucking all these Jordans and shit for like $69.99 or whatever. Doop. Need that. You know what I mean? Barkley was my thing. Barkley was my favorite player at the time. So like I had every fucking pair of Barkley, right? Like every pair. I was crushing them with Barkleys, like crushing them. But then, like, you know, at some point in time, I want to say probably close to high school, I got on Air Maxes. And anyone that knows me, I've had this conversation with Clark Kent. You know what I mean? You know, like, you know what I'm saying? Like all, like, you know, whomever, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I know his favorite thing is Air Force One, right? But to me, changed my life when I got my first pair of Air Max Ones. Yep. Changed my life to the point now where, you know, whenever them OG Jones come out, gotta have it. You know what I mean? I got like 6-7 pairs, right? Like I got a couple, you know, and I don't even throw those out. Like I get rid of some like other beaters, but like them Jones, no, dog, because I can do anything in these Jones. These are beat, cool. These can be the Jones that I wear when it's pouring out rain. Like I like wearing my beat up sneaks when it's pouring out rain because it's like I'm shitting on you, right? Like I'm shitting on you right now, right? Like I'm trashing you. Like my sneaks are from whatever, right? Like my sneaks are from 2000. Right? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I mean, my sneaks are from 95 or 2000 because I've been wearing a 13 since 5th grade. Original era, like, literally 1995. Crumbling in the rain. Crumbling, right? Like, oh, but shout out to George Kill. I watched one of his, when he used to work back in Nice, what was it? Was it Nice Kicks? And he had his show. Dude, he did this John where he talked to this OG dude and he showed me how to, like, if you wrap up your sneaks in a white, like towel, gets you a couple extra years, no lie, no cap, no nothing. So I used to, oh man, I'm telling on myself now. This is awesome. Listen, dude, I go to I used to, right? This is my former life, not now, right? But like I used to go to hotels, like when I would stay, and I would be like in a place where like I would go to cars and I would crush them for the little hand towels, crush them. Come back and just be wrapping them Jones up, right? Oop, put it up. Let's go. Preserve you.
You know what I mean?
Preserve you.
Anybody who's listening, of course, if you're on the Counting Network, you've heard Jerv a million times. You know Jerv is so Philly. But like, the deeper he gets into telling stories, how many times did you get the word John tonight? Like at least 15 in the last 5 seconds, right? Like he's listen. It's just a Philly
person,
thing,
place, a thing.
That's it, man. That's it. It's right. It's everything. John is literally everything, right? Like it can be everything. But that's dope, man. But that's we talk about that all the time, right? Like, because for us when we were younger, I didn't go to Foot Locker in those places either. You went growing up in Brooklyn. You went to the store on like Utica for me on Utica, right? Like
whatever your ad was.
Like your ad is, right? There's no going to no mall or whatever. Like that's not a thing. That's where you get the sneakers, right? And you can literally walk into the store and get them. Nowadays, I mean, first of all, I don't even go to stores now, but people who we've tried to do that, right? It's, you got to wait online. You got to do the camp. That was never a thing. And now with the online and the bots, the sneaker game, Jerv, has just changed so much in the last 30 years. And for you, are you even buying new stuff now? Or are you just waiting particularly for like anything that's selected that you like from back in the day that comes out that gets retro and you might consider it, but otherwise I'm good on this.
So now I'm more so, I'm super duper retired, like super retired. I'm more of a go in, oh shit, that's on sale. Let me see if they got my size type. Like I go into the stores and I try to get things that look comfortable, but I kind of low key, like, so it was a 2-step process for me with like retiring, right? Like it was the Concords that came out, not the 45s, but that first time they retroed it back after they stopped doing the pack. Right. Cause I had the pack or whatever, but I had to buy the size down because my brother was working at Foot Locker. And this is back when, you could have your peoples working somewhere. You can get your joint a couple days prior. They, like you give them the cash, right? They give you the sneaker, but they got to keep the box because they got to scan the box for corporate reasons. So if you really care about the box, you just got to come back the day of, get the box, and it's all good, right? So like, I had to get a 12 because we both wore 13s and everybody only gets one 13. So those Concords come back around and I didn't do any pre-raffles or anything like that, because I don't think that was a thing at that point. And I was standing outside on this block called 52nd Street, which is like super duper at this point in time is like grimy, right? It's in West Philly, but like I'm like, yo, I need these joints. Like this has to happen. Like this is one of the ones that made me 11s are my second favorite, like the second greatest sneaker to me ever, right? Like it's the Air Max 1 and then the Air Jordan 11, right?
Okay, good taste.
So like I have to have these Concords, and again, they're not the Concords to me; they're the black and whites, right? Like they're the white and black, because he had the other ones that were out at the time before Space Jam that were the black and whites, right? And I used to think I was cool; I would wear them mismatched, but whatever, right? So I'm standing outside and I'm looking around, and it's like maybe like 100 people outside in line for like maybe 15 sneaks, maybe 20, 25 tops. And this dude said, and it's nighttime, cops are out there. And this dude said, no, it's cool. They all got to walk back to their car. So I had a self-evaluation and I said, I'm good. Yeah. I'll try tomorrow morning. So I came out the next morning, right? Stood out in line. I was maybe second or third dude in line. Now I know the game. I could be third in line, but that don't mean I'm third to get the sneaks. And I respect that. It's cool, right? It is what it is. But went in, they give me my ticket for a 13. The young boy in front of me needed a size 12. They gave me a ticket for the 13. Walk in. We get to the counter and they say, yo, what size do you all have? I give him my ticket, 13. He gives him his ticket. Now he's before me, size 12. Somehow, some way they come back. All the 12s are gone. So they give me my 13 because I know what it is. Right. This is the only 13.
Right.
So I got cash out in hand, boom, boom, get the transaction going. As I get the transaction going and they ring it up, he goes, all right, well, let me get a 13. Dude calls back. They bag my 13 up. They say, yo, that was the only 13. Yo, when I tell you I walked out of that thing like I was fucking Snoop after the Pac trial was done. What? And it was like, you couldn't tell me that I wasn't in like a sitcom, right? But like, so like, you know what I'm saying? I just felt like all the cameras are on me. And I was like, I got to look so cool walking out of here. But like that day, because of the night before, I started to feel like,
holy crap, like this is getting different. Yeah. And then those Gamma 11s came out, right? And I'm up in Connecticut at the time. And when I tell you, like, you know, it was nothing for me to like, I went to the mom and pop stores that were still left in Connecticut. I got cool with people. So therefore, I got everything I wanted. Like I didn't miss out on anything I wanted in Connecticut, right? And the Gamma 11s came out. And I remember it was a snowstorm. I pulled up to the mall and I didn't see many cars outside. And I was just like, damn, this is going to be this easy for me today? I walked in, and when I tell you that the length of any standard mall in America, it was going from the store was at the end, up, side, and back. And I looked and I said, no, I'm done. Like, you know what I mean? I'm not going through all this anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, there's only a handful of sneakers, you know, the cool grays are one of them. I was upset, you know, because it was during the pandemic, right? Like I'm so washed and out of the loop, right? And then like with the cool grays, I actually had turned those down back when I had my Connect. And you know, that face you just made, that's the face that when he called me and said, yo, they're here. And I had just went through like this thing. I was like, no, I gotta be smart with my money. Like I'm not doing this anymore, you know. And he called me 5 minutes later. Yo, cool grades are here. Nah, I'm good, bro. I don't even want them. You sure? This the cool grades? Nah. Like I'm good. Hung the phone up. Called him back maybe 2 minutes later because it just dawned on me like, yo, what are you doing? Called back. Yo, bro, they going. Right. So like I have to get the cool grades, but like outside of like when the OG Air Max 1s come out, like I gotta have those every single time. It's not too many things that make me go, yo, I need to have it because I'm just not in that. Like I'm not in that space anymore to do that. I have a daughter. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm low key, like sneakers are crazy, and I low key would rather. I don't go anywhere. Like I've been wearing the same 9 to 10 sneakers on some real shit, 9 to 10 sneakers for like the last 2 years.
Right. Because where you going?
Like when I text you today, I'm in slides, so I feel like
you just did it. You're like, I gotta go grab a couple of pairs over here because
I gotta go to where I keep my sneaks. Like I gotta go get some sneaks because all I have here are like the sneaks that I've been wearing, like and like that I pick up like the lifestyle sneakers and shit like that. Because I refuse to wear shoes. Like I'm before it was cool not to wear shoes. Like I never wore shoes. I was already not wearing shoes.
Jerv not a wingtip kind of guy. Wingtips.
I'm not a wingtip type of guy.
But those pairs though, the ones that you pass over, whether it's 2 minutes, you think about it, that lingers. That's the way runners originally for me. Now I have 2 pairs because I'm a crazy person, but I feel that it's like it stays in your mind a little bit differently.
But that moment, Jerv, where the dude was like, "Oh, that's okay. Y'all gotta walk back to their car." Like there are moments in life where you hit like certain you're like, "Yeah, no, this is not right." The light bulb goes on, and you're like, "What am I doing? Like, what am I doing? This is not working."
Buying and selling commodities is what you're doing. That's it.
All right, Jerv, show and tell time, my man. The floor is yours. Show us what you got. Tell them why you like it. You know, give us the rundown.
All right, so. As I mentioned, I keep all my old shits, right? So, as you can see, these are some 3s that I have. These are probably from, what's the tag say? These are from 03. Okay. So this is probably like 3s are very special to me. These are the example of the type of sneakers that I'll wear out when, you know, it's raining and shit like that, right? I mentioned the 11s. I got the 45 Space Jams. That was what's up. But I'm the nigga that likes to you know what I'm saying? I'm the guy that likes to just be like, yo, my shits is better than yours, right? Like I'm an OG dude, right? So
you are.
As you can see, the yellowing.
Yep.
These, you know what I'm saying? Like these aren't the OG Jones. This is from the first re-release. The Space Jam sneak is one of the coldest sneaks to me ever. Agreed. I remember when he fucking came down in the movie and they did the tight shot of it, and my man and I sat there and we were like,
we gotta get those.
What is that? Like, what is that? And there's no internet at the time. I can't Google anything. Yep. It's literally praying to God that these are in the East Bay magazine that's going to come to my doorstep in a couple of days, right? Like it had to be. So the 11s or whatever.
You can't even text your friend when that came out. You can't even send a text.
No, I couldn't.
No texting.
So the 12s are very special to me.
And white.
But the reason I love these so much is that these got recalled. They had the Tokyo, they had like a Tokyo symbol kind of deal on the inside. So the reason I don't even wear these, like I just don't like 12s anymore, but they're still like the shit to me, but I just don't like them. It's weird. The reason I like these so much, let me see if you can say, is that these are the ones that got recalled.
Yep.
So like a lot of people don't have that one, but you know, yeah, I do. And I probably should have sold these because I don't wear them, but I can't do anything without showing my favorite sneaker of all time. I always got to let everybody know so they, so that they know it's real.
Jerv's OG. So, he ain't a pretender here, folks.
These are what I'm wearing today.
Classic.
I have about 5 of these. These are from 2009. Yep. Mm-hmm. I actually don't wear these because I've had severe bad luck in these, and I'm super superstitious with sneakers. Like I'm superstitious. Okay. Like if I wear sneaks, like I had a pair of sneaks that I wore, and I was watching the Eagles play the Jets, and Randall Cunningham got hurt. I had just got those sneakers that day.
Never again.
Literally never wore those. Literally never wore them again. And then I'll leave y'all with this, John. Hirachis are one of my favorite sneaks ever. And this is the Michigan colorway that they came out. I do not believe this one has been retroed yet. They've retroed almost every other color, including my favorite, the OG blue and the blue and the neon green. These Jones are from 02. So, you know, like I said, if you wrap your sneaks up.
I was saying, I'm adding white towels to my cart as we speak.
If you wrap your sneaks up in a white towel, right, and really wrap it up, I'm just trying to tell you, you get a couple more years out of your sneaks. That's all I'm trying to tell you.
I love it, Jerv. Always giving the people knowledge. Listen, folks, as Waz said when we had him on a while back, you can tell if someone's really into this or not by what they got, right? And you could tell Jerv's an OG dude, right? He's the kind of guy that like, nah, I was been in this for a long, long time, right? It ain't about the hype and all the new stuff, right? It's like, no, and we gotta pay homage to drop my water. To all the old school guys who really have been in this from the beginning. Shout out to you, Jerv. Tell the people where they can find you, man.
You can find me on any social media outlet. Real simple. John Jervay, JOHNJERVAY. You know what I mean? I'm a good follow. I promise you. And please, 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 please continue to subscribe and rate and review all the dope ass content that we have on BOMM because we're super duper funny. Like we're hilarious. Like everybody's funny.
It's a very, very funny network, guys. I mean, and we're giving this to you for free. You don't gotta pay for it. Free $99. Come on, man. All right, folks. As always, thank you for tuning in. We appreciate it. We are part of the Counting Things family. You can find us with the original BOMM show with Jerv and Amin and Trey. Rap names where you can also find Jerv with Mariano, Crypto Bros, Mari's new podcast with Queen Bee. I mean, we got a lot of stuff out there. Make sure you subscribe, tune in, check out. Of course, we are at Kicks and Shit Show on all social media platforms. And until next time, peace.